Doublemeat Palace. Buffy gets a job at a burger joint. This episode sponsored by Arby's.
Yeah, we got sponsored again after that whole Cheez-It debacle.
And this time, they're sending us free sandwiches in the mail, apparently. But I haven't gotten mine yet, so we'll see.
Yeah, mine goes straight to the trash. Anyway, we open with Willow relaying what she went through with the nerds last episode to Xander and Anya. And Xander points out that he's surprised that Jonathan went through a complete regression of character, despite everything he learned in all those other episodes.
Meaning all those previous episodes were pointless. Good job, writers. And in this scene, Willow uses some really annoying cutesy dialogue that pissed me off and was stupid.
She also starts getting really hot when she talks about all the magic stuff they found at the nerds' hideout.
Oh, I thought you meant like how she was dressed or something. Okay. She says Buffy went back to Warren's basement, which is something that last episode I was skeptical they were going to do. But apparently they did. But Willow says that the nerds had already left.
Anya says it's not right what the nerds are doing. Not because it's inherently wrong, but because you need to do a hard day's work to earn, not try to find shortcuts to avoid doing work.
Yeah, so remember, we have a Patreon. We deserve your money. Anya says that workers are the tools that shape America. Cue Buffy walking in wearing a fast food worker uniform.
Buffy is now part of the Doublemeat Palace family, and watches the meant-to-be-ironic, but actually quite accurate onboarding video.
And we learn that the name Doublemeat Palace refers to their burgers that combine a beef patty with a chicken-derived patty.
Food as it should be.
Well, I was thinking, I'm sure there are restaurants that have done that before, but I'm surprised it's not more of a thing.
I think KFC did it.
Well, KFC will do anything, but I'm talking about a real restaurant. After the video, Manny, the manager, gives Buffy a tour.
And I recognized him as the alien Amish guy from that one X-Files episode.
Buffy meets some coworkers who sit around blankly and talk about how a previous coworker disappeared, which apparently is something that happens often.
Manny is also pretty weird, and during the tour demands that Buffy eat a double meat medley, which includes the secret ingredient.
When she asks what the secret ingredient is, he doesn't tell her. And from Buffy's reaction, the burger must be deliciously different. Apparently, from Manny's perspective, the bigger the burger, the better the burger.
We also get a glimpse into the past, as Manny uses an old-fashioned manual time clock, which, for me, brought back a whole slew of nightmares.
At one point, for some reason, Buffy tries to open a locked filing cabinet, right in front of everybody.
And is informed,
"Those are locked."
I thought that was funny.
Yeah.
While being trained, Buffy exhibits her trademark humor, that's in quotes, and is warned to cut it out by the guy training her, Gary. And we get another glimpse into the past, when an old woman orders a coffee and cherry pie, and her order totals less than $2.
Wow, I didn't even notice that. Okay.
Things used to be better. There was a little good around every corner.
And I was impressed that the buttons the guy presses actually make sense with what the woman ordered and how he explained it to Buffy.
I like how Buffy was completely overwhelmed by the fact the guy pushed 3 buttons in a row.
And despite Buffy just now being shown how to hit a few buttons, she's left in charge of the register, where the old woman tells her that she comes in every day and that she thinks Buffy will be there for a long time, unlike some of the others who suddenly disappeared.
Buffy takes her first order, and it's whole family, and she fails miserably, but Gary just walked away.
What a great place to work.
I guess Buffy will have to just keep discovering.
Later, Buffy sits and dejectedly eats a burger, which is big enough to be a meal in itself.
Later, Buffy is investigating the walk-in freezer, but she's caught by Manny, who says there's no reason for her to go in there.
And he tells her that curiosity killed the cat.
I mean, from his perspective, makes sense. There is no reason for her to go in there.
Correct. The gang stops by to get in the way while Buffy is trying to do her job, and she mentions how she waitressed before, and when Dawn asks when, she says it was back in Season 3, Episode 1, which was kind of interesting to think about because Dawn wasn't around back then.
Buffy says she's feeling a vibe that things are weird, but everyone points out that everything Buffy's pointing out is completely normal.
And Willow decides to be an incredibly annoying person, more so than usual.
Hey man, she's still going through withdrawal. The crave is a powerful thing.
There's so much good writing in this show. It's very subtle. When it comes to writing, this show is where quality starts. Xander orders one of the medley burgers, and Anya suggests they can have Doublemeat Palace burgers for the wedding, now that Willow won't be able to use her magic to do everything. And Willow is offended at that comment.
What a bitchy thing to say. Wow, it was way better when you were on drugs. Thanks for making it harder for everyone else.
And Anya talks about how much she still has to plan, mentioning that she will also have guests from the demon realm. When Buffy gives Xander the burger, she says it's on her, which was really stupid on her part. She's working there because she desperately needs money, and she already hates the job, while Xander makes a good amount of money.
And she even says she supersizes it or whatever, which makes it cost more.
What an idiot.
Hey, you need to loosen up a little. Later in the shift, service is slow, and of course Spike shows up and sexually harasses an employee of a fast food joint.
And suggests that maybe she should get down with something good.
But he also tells her that she's better than the Doublemeat Palace, and that the place will kill her.
He refers to Buffy as a demon, which she denies, and he says she can't be happy there, and he can get her money if she needs it, but she tells him to leave.
Meanwhile, Gary is throwing things out in the dumpster behind the restaurant, and is attacked by an unseen monster.
The next day, Manny tells Buffy that Gary didn't show up, and she says maybe he's just late, but Manny seems confident that he won't be back.
He assigns her to be on the grill, after being quote-unquote trained on the grill.
By renowned actor William Sadler. I was surprised to see him slumming in this episode.
Buffy's informed that another employee didn't show, so she'll be on a double shift, which makes her unhappy, even though it should make her happy because it means she can earn more money, which Manny even points out.
And it's not like she ever does anything productive with her time anyway. I mean, she saves the world and stuff, but she does that reluctantly. At Xander's, a vengeance demon named Halfric suddenly shows up.
In a pretty goofy-looking cape.
She tells Xander that she's there to exact vengeance on him, but it turns out that she was invited by Anya and misunderstood. And when Anya tells her about the upcoming wedding, she is very skeptical.
Yeah, all she has to do is make that little noise repeatedly to make Anya question everything she's doing.
Such deep writing.
At the Doublemeat Palace,
Buffy is frying fries when the oil starts boiling with nothing in it, and the guy next to her says it does that sometimes, which I thought was going to be part of the mystery, but it doesn't pop up again.
Buffy sees Spike skulking around outside,
and he's clearly looking to play a game of Where's the Beef.
So she goes out back and gets her own double meat medley. Spike tells her it takes 2 hands to hold the Whopper. And it is freaky fast, freaky good.
Amy goes to the house to talk to Willow. She brings up Willow's attempt to stop using magic and asks if she really wants to go the rest of her life without feeling what she felt before. She uses a spell to give Willow power, saying it's a gift from her so it doesn't violate Willow's deal. And Willow stupidly keeps touching things, even though every time she does, it destroys them.
I was just imagining one drug addict meeting another drug addict who's trying to go cold turkey and just lunging across the room with the, heroin needle and just jabbing it into their arm. It's from me, so it's okay.
Just another example of how the analogy doesn't really work.
Back at the Doublemeat Palace,
Buffy observes the meat grinding process, and for some reason decides to grab at a chunk of raw meat, where she finds a severed finger.
Was she even wearing gloves?
No. Why would she? She's not intelligent. Gloves are for smart people.
She immediately goes to confront Manny, who seems genuinely shocked, but mentions there was an incident over a month ago.
I think he said 6 months ago.
I think he said 6 weeks ago.
Well, one of us is wrong. And Buffy accusingly suggests that maybe Gary actually got ground down into meat.
So she proceeds to run out into the dining room.
And she recreates a scene from the stuff, knocking everyone's food away and telling them not to eat it, because it's really made of Soylent Green. At least she didn't try to recreate that scene from Troll 2.
I must do it! I must do it!
The rest of the employees try to restrain her, so she throws them around with her Slayer strength and is subsequently fired.
What a good employee. Halfric questions Anya about Xander, and Anya tries to defend him, but Halfric remains skeptical.
Making that same annoying noise. Buffy has called an emergency meeting at the magic shop, but only Dawn and Xander have shown up. Buffy relays what's going on.
And Buffy showing Dawn the finger that she found made me think about how a normal person would go to the police and let them do the investigating. I know Buffy is the Slayer, but she's not good at investigating. Buffy talks about her theory with the meat, and she finds that Xander has already eaten the burger that she had brought to analyze. I wondered exactly how she was going to do that.
Hey man, as long as it's hot and ready. and Willow runs in, trying to hide her magic.
Willow picks up a pencil, and it magically turns to rubber, so she hides it in her purse. Luckily, her purse doesn't turn into sand or anything. I wondered how that worked, or what the spell even did, and we never find out. Spoiler.
I mean, I can do that with a pencil. I just kind of wave it back and forth, holding it on one end.
Yeah, that's probably how they did that effect.
Buffy says they need to bring down the entire Doublemeat Corporation, and runs back to the restaurant, which is now closed. But that's okay, because it's always great, even late. Which, coincidentally, is also her mentality about Spike's dick.
While Willow analyzes the burger using a comical chemistry set, Dawn talks to Xander about how Buffy will never have a good job because she's the Slayer. How deep.
And I wasn't sure if she was concerned for Buffy or for herself, because it sounded like she was just complaining that Buffy having those kinds of jobs would make it harder for Dawn. But then when Xander says, well, Dawn, you could end up getting, an elite high-paying job and bring in more money, Dawn gets offended.
These characters are very likable.
They also make a ton of sense all the time.
That's what you call quality writing. I actually didn't have a problem with that argument at all, but okay.
All right.
Willow calls them over, saying she's created a solution that detects the proteins in human blood. And I was extremely skeptical of everything in this episode, but especially that.
What are you talking about? She had like 50 test tubes out there.
You need at least 55, any real scientist knows.
Anya rushes in, apologizing for being late, and Xander immediately starts criticizing Halfric's appearance and asks if Anya used to look like that.
Which upsets her, even though she started out as a human to begin with.
She's upset that Xander is criticizing one of her friends and starts to point out Xander's flaws.
Willow analyzes the burger remains and doesn't find any human remains, but says there's something weird about it.
Back at the Doublemeat Palace, Buffy's snooping around in the dark, and she hears something and thinks it's Manny, but it turns out to be the cherry pie lady from earlier, and she's not an old lady at all, but actually a Cenobite.
The tentacle thing sprays Buffy with something that the old lady says is a paralyzing agent that spreads upwards somehow, even though it sprayed Buffy in the face.
I was actually surprised that that tentacle thing was practical for a lot of shots.
Buffy tries to get away, but stumbles.
And the woman tells her that Doublemeat Palace employees taste the best.
Because they're full of Doublemeat Palace burgers.
They have the meats.
I guess quality just tastes better. And throughout these scenes, the tentacle keeps shrieking in a really goofy way.
I know you're under there.
As Buffy's slowly being paralyzed, Willow shows up, doesn't see Buffy, so she starts to shout through the drive-thru speaker.
Even though the restaurant is closed. I mean, even if that worked, that's kind of stupid. I don't know.
And I haven't worked in fast food for quite a while, but I'm pretty sure the receiving end is not just a giant speaker pointing out into the restaurant. I thought it went to somebody's headset.
There are some places where it doesn't go to a headset, where people can just hear it, but it's not going to go everywhere.
Yeah, it's not going to echo through the entire building.
Willow tells Buffy the burgers aren't people, they're actually vegetable matter. A revelation so disgusting that it still makes me feel like throwing up.
What? That it's food with integrity? You have a problem with that? Why don't you just go eat more chicken?
I prefer better ingredients, better pizza.
That doesn't work there.
She also confesses to Buffy about what Amy did and how she feels like she needs the power again, which was dumb. Meanwhile, Buffy is dealing with more important and more interesting things. And then Willow utters an absolutely brilliant line of dialogue.
Buffy, something fell.
Then Willow manages to make it inside somehow. If she could do that, why didn't she just do that first? Because she knew Buffy was in there. And the tentacle shoots the paralyzing agent at Willow.
But misses, and then for some reason doesn't try to go after her. So she comes up behind it and manages to decapitate it or detentaculate it or whatever. And she tosses it in the meat grinder.
Toasty.
I don't know. If she cooked it, maybe.
If you're going to throw in your pizza one, I'm going to throw that one in there.
Later, Amy shows up at the house and asks if she can borrow stuff for her new place. She says she's loving it. So she got a place? How did she manage that?
She used magic.
Oh, well, yeah, okay. Okay.
Willow tells Amy that she can't spend any more time with her. Amy gets some snarky comments in. There's a couple of threats thrown around, but Amy ends up walking away.
But I suspect that she'll be back.
Well, I'm glad she actually showed up again to begin with, because I suspected she wouldn't show up at all.
Yeah, that's true.
Buffy goes back to the Doublemeat Palace to turn in her uniform because she's been fired, and she meets the new manager,
Lorraine, who says that Manny disappeared. Buffy tries to pass off her earlier behavior as a prank,
which was actually kind of forward-looking because a lot of quote-unquote pranks on YouTube and shit now are people physically harming others, and that's what she did.
Whereas we only harm people mentally by reviewing every episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Buffy brings up the burgers being made of vegetable matter, and Lorraine gets agitated and tells Buffy to close the door. She admits it's true and tells Buffy she can't spread the secret around. So Buffy blackmails her and says if she gets rehired, she won't tell anyone. So Lorraine tells Buffy, have it your way.
But it's clear as soon as she's rehired that she doesn't want to work there and realizes she made a huge mistake.
Doublemeat Palace. Overall,
I know the fast food jokes were there to be jokes, but it was scarily accurate to working in a place like that. And Buffy worked there for 2 days. I get they only have 45 minutes to get through a story, but really, if Buffy realized during the onboarding video that she didn't want to be there, she should have just not worked there. And this was 2002, and I know it's hard to believe for younger people out there, but you could get a job in 2002 like that.
In the defense of the show, I will point out that Buffy is an idiot and is desperate for money, supposedly.
But she could have even just gone to a different fast food place.
But see, you're already thinking more than she does, or more than the writers do.
Yeah, that's true.
They don't know how to think outside the bun.
Anya and Xander's doubts are still not subtle at all. And we're at episode 12 of this season, so I imagine we'll have to deal with this storyline until the end of the season. But at least it's not all happening in one episode. Like I said, I'm surprised Amy showed up. I also don't think she's gone, which is good, because Willow needs something to keep her character interesting. And I was surprised also that Willow did not succumb to using magic in this episode. But her character seems to fluctuate between uncontrollable shaking and being completely fine as we proceed through this season. The consistency is not there. The Spike Buffy bang session behind the Doublemeat Palace, which is a sentence I've always wanted to say, was admittedly very romantic, but also very stupid. I assume the requirement now is Buffy and Spike must have sex at least once per episode, because it just popped out of nowhere and was done. Wasn't even any dialogue. Spike came hungry, came in general, and then left happy. I liked the concept of this episode, but I was disappointed that at the beginning, Willow was pointing out how the nerds are actually becoming a bigger threat, but they did absolutely nothing to follow up on that. This episode was a fine Monster of the Week episode that for the most part worked on its own, and it kept me more engaged than most of these episodes recently, especially the ones that focus on the main arc. That's not a good thing. But I went higher for this one than I thought it would. I gave it a B-.
Okay, I'm surprised. I gave it a C. I thought this episode could have been really good with all the fast food jokes and stuff. And they've done some really good comedy-focused episodes in the past, but this one did not stand up to those. I felt like a lot of the jokes were too predictable and just too easy. I thought the guest actors working at the restaurant did a good job. I thought their performances worked. It's just that the writing wasn't that funny. I do like that Buffy went back to the job at the end. For once, I thought it was her making a decision that made sense, given that she needs money. Plus, the fact that they had her work here felt like it would be a very one-off idea. Just kind of a throwaway episode.
And how long will she continue to work there? Is it just going to be another episode and then she quits?
I'm assuming it'll just be a background thing that they barely talk about.
And then we'll ask the same questions we ask about them in school. Like, when do they actually do that?
Yeah. Or maybe she'll get fired for, like, banging Spike in the meat grinder or something. I don't know. I guess she just has to do what tastes right. Apparently that's a Wendy's one.
Gross.
I was impressed at the restaurant set / location, which I'm assuming was a real restaurant. But they even had the costuming and all the labeling on everything down, which we have seen them do before back in Superstar, but I was surprised to see them do that for something like this. I honestly thought that was the best part of the episode, was just how authentic it felt. The stuff with Spike is just going to drag out, I can tell. I mean, it is already, but like you're saying, it seems like she's just going to bang him in every episode now. It's just going to be the same thing over and over again, presumably in weirder and weirder places. Sometimes this show is delightfully tacky, yet unrefined. Xander and Anya were mostly annoying in this episode, and so was Anya's demon friend. And we already knew that Anya was having doubts about her and Xander's relationship from the musical episode. But this episode felt like it was trying to start from scratch. So that was disappointing and didn't really make sense. Willow was really annoying too. Her behavior, both from the acting side and the writing side, was so by the numbers, but they also gave her some stupid lines and tried to get her back to her weird, cutesy acting that she used to do, which was also annoying. For a while, she was the one character that kind of stood out as being more developed and more likable than the others, but she's starting to slide down to the bottom for me.
And Giles is gone too.
Yeah. In the end, Buffy got a job, and then she got fired and rehired, so the next episode is basically going to be her starting that job again, meaning this episode didn't really progress anything for any of the characters, other than having Willow turn Amy away, which means they seem to have fully given up on actually exploring Amy as a character, and her whole thing of having been a rat for so long, and they're just going to make her a cartoonish foil for Willow at this point, so that's great.
I didn't bring it up before, but something that really bothered me was the fact that these employees disappear without any explanation. Do these people not have families? Hey, Gary went to work yesterday and never came home. Oh well. And it sounded from Manny like it happened a lot. No one ever investigated.
Yeah, they try to pass it off as just the standard recycling of employees, but the employees don't completely disappear after that.
From the rest of the employees' standpoint, yeah, they're probably like, yeah, they probably just stopped coming to work. But, it's not like outside of the Doublemeat Palace, they don't exist.
Yeah, having that mystery element was interesting while it was there, but the actual revelation of, oh, they're all being eaten by this monster, didn't really make sense.
And Buffy did find a human finger in the meat grinder. That restaurant would be shut down immediately.
Well, that brings up another point of them throwing the tentacle into there. Like, did they clean that out? The restaurant is still just functioning later.
Yeah, the next day.
Yeah, what do people think of what the hell is this thing that's in here?
Yeah. I mean, if I were in a restaurant and someone ran out saying, it's people, don't eat it, or even something less traumatic than that, I would report it to somebody.
Yeah. And again, this episode is supposed to be on the lighter side, I think, as far as that side of it goes, but...
Too much hand-waving, though.
Yeah, definitely. And it just wasn't funny enough. But now my break time is over, and I've got to get back to the grill.
Yeah, they're going to question why you've been in the bathroom for so long. Jab a heroin needle for me. Isn't that the slogan of Waffle House?
Well, it's better here.
Needles for one and all. So, we'd like to thank Arby's for sponsoring this review. Arby's, it's finger looking good.